All right, so you're thinking about moving to Baltimore and you like living in the city, you've got your city wits about you, and these are going to be like the 5 places you need to live in right around the Inner Harbor. So we're going to get to it next. Hi, I'm John Ruckman. I'm the Charm City Property Dude. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. It's going to be right about here is where it's going to be. And go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell for this video and all the other great videos. And we're going to get started. Yeah, all right. So you want to live downtown Baltimore, and you want to make sure you hit all these because you don't want to miss one. And if you comment down below, I'll send you my free buyer's guide to get you started as far as Baltimore. And the one thing I love about these videos is that I learned so much more about the city and the places to go before you even get here. I know how stressful moving is. It's like number 2 on a Richter scale of the most beautiful things. And the first thing is public speaking, of course. So number 5 on the list is Harbor East. This would be just the south of the Inner Harbor. This includes Harborview, this includes Silo Point, this includes the Anthem House, this includes Locust Point. All these areas, this has been an up and coming area for so long. When I was a kid, my father and I used to drive a tractor and trailer, or he drove the tractor and trailer and I rode with him. I was his sidekick when CBs were cool and AM/FM radios were cool. So we'd go down Key Highway every day. We go to what was then called 10 Southside. That is the piers. The cruise ship is now there, and that was like Sealand that used to be there. My father used to pick stuff up, and he used to take it out of the pier, and all that stuff on 10 Southside. That's Silo Point. That's Federal. That's Francis Scott Key neighborhood there. All that stuff there was nothing. So it has really transformed itself into an awesome neighborhood, and it offers Harborview, which is luxurious living, Ponte Villa, which is luxury. All right, so you can live in Harbor View, it's luxurious living, Ponte Villa, which is luxurious living. You've got the brand new apartments right there on Key Avenue, which are absolutely fabulous. The Anthem House, then you have Silo Point, and all of Locust Point has continuously changed and evolved in the last 10 years. The investors that come in, I'm an investor. I fix and flip houses all the time, and I have one down in Howard, and it was a full gut rehab, and we completely rehabbed that house. We made the 3rd floor, bathrooms, the kitchen, updated kitchen, granite countertops, rooftop deck. So did all that stuff for the housing, and I wasn't the only investor that's ever done that. So the neighborhood's really come up, and it's called Harbor East. This includes just to the east of Federal Hill, and then you have like Harbor East, Locust Point, and all that area. So this gives my number 1. This is number 5 of a list of 5 of my pick for like excellent neighborhoods. And there's always something to do down in that city. So there's always something to do right there. And we're going to get into one of the next ones. Brings us to number 4, and that would be Federal Hill. Federal Hill is an awesome place. I've taken many videos of Federal Hill. I've walked on Federal Hill. You've got the flag, you've got the statue, and Hill overlooks everything. And you have the old colonial style houses, which the investors have all come in there and they've renovated and done everything. The houses right off of Federal Hill start anywhere from like $350 on up, and of course you've got the cross street market down there, which has excellent pizza, it has excellent seafood, and the great part about it's so close to everything. So if you wanted to go to the promenade, which all these areas are right there around the Inner Harbor, and you hit the promenade goes from all the way from Locust Point. It's the red brick road. It goes all the way around the Inner Harbor, all the way over to Fells Point and Canton. And it's excellent for like running and jogging. It's excellent for walking your dogs. There's parks along the way that you can play with your dogs. You can take your kids and play with your children. It's always something to do around the Inner Harbor. So this gives my pick for number 4. That would be Federal Hill. Federal Hill also offers like up-to-date apartments. I mean, like the Anthem House is brand new. The apartments right there on Key Highway are brand new. They offer brand new places to live, and there's all these little parks. So on Federal Hill itself, is a nice little walking park. I've seen several families with their younger children. They're strolling along. There's a place set up there, and then during the day, if you ride around Key Highway, you can always see everybody like sitting on the side of Federal Hill. Of course, it's got the old cannons up there. There's new housing, and there's renovated housing, new apartments, there's condos all around Federal Hill. Number 3 on my list would be Mount Vernon. So if you go straight up 83, Mount Vernon's, you hang a left right there at Mount Vernon. There is a dead spot in the city just below Mount Vernon. So I think it's going through urban renewal right now. The light rail runs right through it as a matter of fact. But above Mount Vernon, you have all the bigger houses. You have apartments, you have condos, you have in Mount Vernon, but it's mainly bigger sized houses. So if give for instance like Domino's Sugar or the Harbor, the employees from like Bethlehem Steel and all that would live around the Inner Harbor, would live in the little houses along Locust Point. They were like 900 square feet before the renovation. And like the super bosses would live out in Mount Vernon because these houses like 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. And I've got a couple of pictures here you can see of the different houses in Mount Vernon. The other good part about Mount Vernon is there's always something to do there too, because each one of these places has like a little centralized places to shop. They've got clothing stores, they got restaurants. No matter where you go in these little sections, there's always something to do. You're never in like a food desert or anything like that. So my number 3 pick is Mount Vernon, and it also gets you slightly further away from the Inner Harbor and away from like the immediate downtown of the city, but it's only like 5 minutes away from central Inner Harbor. Would be Fells Point. Fells Point has awesome restaurants. Like I have myself, I'm in like a little town square that has all these restaurants. If you're into jazz music, they got the Rye right around in that circle. The National Can Company was converted use into apartments. There's plenty of apartments, there's condos, there's renovated townhomes or townhouses right around Fells Point. It also is connected to the promenade, that's the Red Brick Road. So this gets my 3rd pick for like excellent neighborhood to live in, inside both the Inner Harbor. And the best part about these places, except for Mount Vernon, is that you can catch the water taxi from one side of the harbor. There's water taxi spots for it, and you can just go right across the harbor to Locust Point. So for instance, if you live in Fells Point or you live in Locust Point, you can take that water taxi to the other restaurants. They all have excellent seafood, oysters, crabs. They have all this great stuff there, and it's all these places are like minutes from all the hospitals. So if you work at the hospital, you're a doctor, minutes from the hospitals. I know in Harborview, I've sold a couple in there, and all those folks were doctors at Johns Hopkins. So there's always number one is the Inner Harbor. So the Inner Harbor is like the staple of downtown Baltimore. You see the museums, you have the Constellation, you have the Chesapeake, the old it's an older ship, I think it was a medical ship. You got the old submarine down there. It was like the last diesel-powered submarine being commissioned, and I think they decommissioned it maybe 10 years ago. It was still a working submarine. So these boats and submarines and ships have all been converted into museums. You also have, there's never nothing to do. So if you are in the Inner Harbor, you're at Locust Point, you're in Fells Point, you're in these areas, you can always take the promenade, you can always take the water taxi to the central focus point of Baltimore, which is the Inner Harbor. You have all the shops, you have like Chipperelli's, which is off Little Italy. It's probably a 2-minute walk off of the Inner Harbor. You have all the new stores that are on President Street. These are brand new stores that just were built within like the last 10 years. There's a movie theater over there. Best part of the movie theater is as your previous life was an actor, you can go into the movie theater and you can rent like a cinema. So if you're into independent films and stuff like that, you can always catch it there. Always take a look at the schedule, because it's not just the normal stuff. There's some independent films there. If you're going around the Inner Harbor, you have the National Aquarium, you have the Science Center. There's a mall right there at the Inner Harbor. There's tons of shopping. During winter months, they have an ice skating ring right there at the point. So many things happen in the Inner Harbor. I know when I used to do the walkathon as a kid, it would start right there at the Inner Harbor, and it would go around where it went. I think it was like the same path And it was the same path. As a matter of fact, it was the same path. It was the same path as the marathon. So the marathon would start right there at the Inner Harbor, would go around Baltimore City. 13 miles would bring you right back to the stadium. That's another good thing. You have M&T Stadium. You have Memorial Park, not Memorial Park. You have the Orioles Stadium, which is, I can't, I'm drawing a blank on what it is. So you have it right there. There's Hooters. There's hotels around the Inner Harbor. So there's never anything that you can't find yourself doing. You can go right to, they change it all the time. It's the Royal Farm Center. It was the marina, or whatever it is, but they usually have the circus there. I'm a huge Joel Osteen fan. When he came to town, he was up there at the, I can't even remember what the place is. They call it a Civic Center. They also have a lot of convention centers right there in the middle of Baltimore. So that's the Inner Harbor. There's a ton of stuff right there, ton of houses, ton of condos, hotels, you name it is right there. Now, the important part about all these neighborhoods, while they are in the Inner Harbor, each one of them has a very distinct social difference. It's like, for instance, you might have a higher content of Latino people in one neighborhood, or you might have a higher content of a different diversity, and that's okay. Diversity is great for Baltimore. There's no place you can go in Baltimore that you don't see diversity, and this is what makes Baltimore so great, is the diversity. We are all in Baltimore. We're very prideful of Baltimore. I got my T-shirt on. I've got my Maryland flag here. You can see it right there. So we're very patriotic. We all love Baltimore, and every day, I know you hear things from the news, but the news is always bad news. They always concentrate on the worst things of every city, and of course, crime. There are pockets of crime, but that is usually away from the Inner Harbor. And the best part about all this is that the police presence down there is a little better, is better there than it is actually in some of the other neighborhoods, where I think with urban renewal and the contractors all coming in and renovating everything, it's kind of moving that right around. So this is what I love about Baltimore. These are the 5 areas that I think you'd be really interested in. Of course, if you reach out to me, don't worry. I've got your back when it comes to real estate, because I absolutely love it. I love it when you comment. I love it when you reach out to me and ask me questions about the city, because I know moving is the most scariest thing you could possibly think you can do in the universe. And the last thing you want to do is you want to move to a strange state or a strange city and get here and go, oh my God, I moved into the wrong area. And I understand it. I'm not here to steer anybody. These are my opinions. But I think, if you get the right person on the ground, I do video tours. So I've been doing video tours a lot here lately. I got a client that's interested in Harborview, interested in Silo Point. So I go in there and do these tours. I can be your eyes and ears on the ground. So no matter the day, night, weekend, text message, email, phone calls, if you reach out to me, don't worry. I've got your back when it comes to real estate. And this was the 5 best areas in Baltimore around the Inner Harbor for you. So I'll catch you on the next video. And yeah, go ahead and take a look at that video, definitely, and that one right there.